What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today.
And in today's video, we are winding back to 2012 to take a look at the first class of LEGO Superheroes minifigures. Now, there were Batman figures and Spider-Man figures that had come out in the early 2000s, but there was a break at the end of 2008 with the first Batman wave ending, all the way up to winter 2012, right at the beginning of the year there, where we got some of the figures that you see here, and then a few more that released throughout the year, as well as the Marvel line that summer. But that said, these are the main figures from the 2012 DC wave, and I figured it would be really cool to go back and look at the figures that started off this theme that we love so much. So before we dive in and start looking at these, drop a comment below and let me know if you had any of these figures in your collection, and be sure to hit subscribe if you have not already to make sure you don't miss any of my videos, because a lot of them end up being a little something like this. So of course we're going to start off this video with the classic Batman, but you might be saying, Jonathan, am I seeing double here? And to that I would say yes and no. So the figures are exactly the same all the way up to the cowl. So we'll start on what actually is similar between them. We've got this great torso with the classic bat symbol there, the utility belt, and then just plain black legs, no printing there. And then every Batman came with this batarang here, so that's very cool. Back then, we had the papery cape, and you can see that if you leave it in a cockpit or something like that, the cape can get scrunched up pretty bad. I got this figure recently in a haul, so that really explains how that is the case. Then, if we lift up the cowl, you can see he has a white band around his head so that when the cowl goes on, you see those white eyes instead of like the, skin of his forehead. And on one side, he's got just a flat face, and then on the other side, he's kind of got a ha face. I'm sure somebody's going to roast me in the comments for just having said that, but oh well, I just made a funny noise. That's that. So, when we look at these figures, there are differences. The main difference is the cowl. This is the old cowl that came with like the 2006-2008 era Batmans, but for whatever reason, some of the Batmans had what's called the Type 2 cowl. You can see that the Type 2 cowl has a little bit more defined eyebrows right there. If I turn it, maybe you could see it. And it's also a little bit more defined right here on the temple area. So the Type 2 cowl was a little bit more modern, if you will. You can see it lifts up in the back a little bit more. And the Type 1 cowl is, I don't know, maybe nostalgic is the right word. But anyways, it is cool that there are two different versions. And I remember seeing this and thinking like, what the heck? And it was really cool to figure that out. And all these years later, it's a little bit better documented. So pretty interesting. And we'll keep moving on here. Alright, so the other Batman we got in the main continuity of sets was this blue and gray Batman, which I personally love because it reminds me of the old cartoons and comics and things like that, but both figures were awesome. As you can see, this one here has the Type 1 cowl in blue. I don't know if this actually came with a Type 2 cowl. I don't think it did. I think they were all this Type 1 cowl. Anyways, the head is the same, so, we've got that same look on the back there, and you can see that he's just got great printing on the front. It's basically the same as the other one, just with a different utility belt, and then, of course, the color schematic changing, but the bat symbol is exactly the same. So with that being said, there are two versions of this character. The other one came in the Cat Cycle Chase, so what you would do is you would take this off. The Cat Cycle Chase one did not come with a traditional cape, though. It just came with these kind of booster pack wings, and you can see what that looks like there. So there is a little build that would have gone on the back, as you can see, just like that. And all in all, it's a very cool figure either way, but I prefer the papery cape. Alright, here we've got the coveted and rare Electro Suit Batman, which, again, was from the same year, 2012, and this came with the Visual Dictionary, so quite a rare thing, and the cool thing is, it actually pointed out some of the original Batman sets in that book, so it's probably worth tracking down if you're into, like, LEGO history and that stuff. We did get arm printing here, which was exceptionally rare for the superheroes theme starting off, and it's cool to have a cowl that has some printing on it, of course, the same head, and just a really great suit overall that really has stood the test of time and really holds a candle to even today's modern Batman minifigures as being a great figure with lots of cool detail. Okay, so here we've got all the figures that came with the Batcave set. So up first, we've got Bruce Wayne, which is a really awesome figure. He has the Loki head, actually, interestingly enough, just kind of its own thing there. And then this nice blue torso. He's quite rare because this version of Bruce Wayne only came in this 2012 Batcave. So after Bruce Wayne, we'll take a look at Poison Ivy here, who is unique for having printing on her hairpiece. That's exceptionally rare to have printing on any hairpiece, let alone a red hairpiece, which is kind of rare in its own right. You can see she's got some leg printing, some printing on the torso there, nice green lips actually, and if you flip the figure around, you can see she's got an angry face on this side. So all around, it's a really fantastic figure and definitely among my favorites as far as DC villains go. Here we've got Bane, which was very cool because he was really rare from the original wave, and I love that the printing on the back of his helmet kind of connects to the printing on his back overall. I've always felt like this is a really, really cool figure. And then last but not least, we have Robin. Now this Robin came in this set as well as a Polybag, as well as the Funhouse set, which is the next kind of grouping of figures we'll look at next, but it's a really fantastic figure. You can see he's got great torso printing there, some printing underneath the cape, and then if you flip the head around, he's got a kind of scared or alarmed face on that side, which is really cool as well. So I always loved the Robin figure, and truth be told, my Robin figure here you can see has the kind of more spongy cape, but at this era he would have had the same papery cape that Batman had. Just worth pointing out, somewhere along the way I switched him out on my Robins, and that's what we see now. Alright, so here we've got the Joker and kind of his posse, so let's move these guys back and get the Joker up closer. So this Joker has come in many, many sets over the years as polybags and other things, but in the 2012 wave, he came in the Funhouse set as well as the Batwing set. So it's very cool. He's got a big yellow smile on this side and then just kind of a smirky smile on that side. A really fantastic figure that has aged very, very well. Here we've got the Riddler, who was exclusive to the Lego Funhouse from the same year here. I feel like I keep saying 2012. But he's got great question mark printing here, printing on his bowler's cap. He only has one side to his head, and I always wished that this bowler cap had some hair on it. That, you know, he wouldn't look quite bald from the back, but it is what it is, and it is a great figure. He had a red cane at this point because they hadn't made it in gold yet, which we would get in subsequent years, but it's still a great Riddler figure overall. Then we've got Harley Quinn, who is just an amazing, amazing character in her own right, and a great minifigure here with the dual-molded helmet here. You can see on the inside that actually that's printed. Wow, I misspoke. I did not know the black side of that was printed. You learn something new every day, sometimes even when you're making an informational video. But she's got a smirk on this side and then a big grin on that side that rounds this character out. She came in the Funhouse, and then our last figure here is the Joker Henchman. No printing on the back of the head, but some great printing on the back of the jacket. I love this angry clown makeup he has on, and this figure was the Henchman flying the helicopter in the Batwing set. So some really great figures here overall, and a definitely colorful assortment of villains. Here we've kind of got our misfit characters, and I'll explain why that is here. So Catwoman is a great figure, very, very cool. She actually came with a whip right here, as you can see, and I always love this figure. It's just so simplistic. Some leg printing would have been nice, but honestly, it kind of works without. You can see she's got this kind of like visor on here, so that when you put the cat helmet on, it lets you not see her eyes, but if you flip it around, you can actually put it on so that she looks like that with it on too. So she's definitely very cool in that regard, and a really great version of Catwoman. Here we've got the Guard figure. He's come in a couple of sets over the years, but he's just kind of plain Jane, so that's why he's here on his own. And then we have a Lex Luthor Polybag that was a video game giveaway exclusive at GameStop, from what my research tells me. But he was supposed to have a kind of like shoulder armor here, but when I got mine, it didn't have that, so I don't have that to show you, but I can show you in a picture here, so there is that. Here we have Two-Face and his henchmen, which are very cool, having that orange and purple aesthetic. So for Two-Face, they reused the original Batman, wave here. He's got the white hair on this side, black hair on that side. You can see what that looks like on the inside. It's all white with black printed on there. I didn't make the same mistake as Harley Quinn. But orange on one side, purple on the other. A really, really cool aesthetic for this figure, and I've just always, always loved this. Two-Face is my favorite DC villain, fun fact. Then for his two henchmen, same legs, same torso, and some great head and hair options there for those hats. I guess they're hats, not hair. But some really cool, just generic henchmen that give you two looks for, just uniqueness, I guess. kind of got the outlier minifigures. All of these figures up to this point, for the most part, have been Batman minifigures, but now we have Superman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor. So Superman here is just a really fantastic figure. It's so cool that he exists in Lego form. You can see if we flip it around, he's got some back printing on there, and I love the hairpiece that they made for him with the curly hair, which you can, of course, flip around, and you've got this kind of determined face on that side. So very, very cool. Here we've got Wonder Woman with her Lasso of Truth. This debuted in gold in this set. You can see she's got some great effeminate legs there, which are red on the back, weirdly enough, but some great printing on the sides that show off that classic Wonder Woman suit. Then you can flip the hair around and see that she's got an angry fighting face on the back, and this, even to this day, is my favorite Lego Wonder Woman, like, no competition. Then last but not least, we have Lex Luthor, and for years, I thought that he had Loki's head, but he actually has his own unique head, interestingly enough. This one kind of has the mouth smudged off, but I love minifigures that have some wear to them, not for photo purposes, but just for the fact of knowing that, you know, they've been on some big adventures over the years, so it doesn't always deter me. And then we have two more minifigures that we should at least talk about in the 2012 era. And those are Shazam and Bizarro, which were Comic-Con exclusives. They're obviously super, super rare, and I don't own either one, so I can't show you them, you know, in a review sense, but I can at least show you pictures and tell you that they're out there and that they do exist. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and drop a comment and let me know if you had any of these minifigures. So, this was so much fun to wind back the clocks and look at all these figures, and I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, feel free to click that subscribe button for more LEGO content coming in the near future. So, thanks for tuning in to today's video, and until next time, build on.